Hi everyone, Sheree here. Today I'm going to be creating a 12 by 12 layout featuring the beautiful Felicity Jane Mari Kit. I've got two photos to scrap today of my friend who came to visit yesterday. We had a lot of fun catching up, so that's what I'm going to document. My photos are about 3 by 3 inches in size, and I've got two of those. What I'm going to use today is the paper packaging piece that comes in the paper pack. I love that it has a scaled down version of each of the patterns included in the paper pack, and I'm going to use that. So I've just trimmed that down, and I'm going to use that probably across the top of my page. And I've also got this scalloped piece which I trimmed from the bottom of the solid coloured cardstock. So I've got the green. It's yellow on the reverse, but I really love this green, so that's what I'm going to use. And I've also cut the branding strip from the gingham and butterflies paper. So I love that it's got these stitched lines on it. So I've got those there as well. So to go along with that, I have trimmed or fussy cut some of the flowers and leaves from the beautiful floral paper that's included in the paper pack. And I've also cut out some of the butterflies from the butterflies paper. So you've got all these butterflies here in all the kit colours, which is gorgeous. So I've cut out a couple of the green ones, a pink one, a blue one. I'm not sure how many of those I'll use, but they are there ready to go. And if I need any more, I can always cut some more out. I've printed out my journaling onto some white cardstock. I'm going to trim those into strips to use for my journaling strips. And I've also got the Mari chipboard alphabet for my title. I've already got my words chosen, they're over here. And I've got the Mari stamp set as well. So I've picked out a couple of phrases, the one that says today is a good day. I've got love this and lovely. So they are there. I do have one of the cardstock tabs here. And what I did, I've just cut it in half so that I can use one half on this page, and then I've still got that beautiful green one to use on another project. So that's there. I'm going to add one of the words to that on the side of my photo. And I've got some white twine here. I've got a plan for some white twine on this too. I do have other embellishments here just in case I need them, but I think I'm ready to make a start. So I will pop you on fast forward and show you how I'm going to put this page together. Okay, so to start off with, I'm going to use my sewing machine, and I'm going to add stitching in between each of the patterns on that strip. So you can see there, it's got some lovely texture on that piece now. So I'm going to add that to the top of my white cardstock, and I have stitched a border around that white cardstock as well. I've now got that green scalloped piece, which I'm just adding to the bottom of the other piece that I've already adhered onto the page. And then I've got that branding strip piece, which is going to cover up the join of those two pieces that I just stuck down. So just adding that on there now. Alright, so now I'm going to grab my two photos and arrange these on the page. So I had the idea that I wanted these to look like they're hanging down from the top of the page. So what I'm going to do is just use a pencil to mark a spot at the top of each photo, and then I'm going to grab my hole punch and just punch a hole at the top of each one, which is going to allow me to add some twine. So just punching those holes now. And then I can go ahead and add my pieces of twine to the top of each photo. Now I had one of these pieces longer than the other, so I will have to arrange these so that both pieces of twine reach to the top of the page. And the idea is I'm going to lift up those pieces that I've just stuck down, and they're going to be tucked underneath those pieces. So the adhesive that I've already got under those pieces is going to help keep those in place so that the twine doesn't fall out. Just making sure that I do have room to the right for my journaling strips and for that floral piece as well. So I'm happy with the placement. I'm going to go ahead, add some double-sided tape to be behind each of my photos, and then I'll go ahead and stick those down into place. Alright, so I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to go ahead and just peel up very carefully those pieces at the top, and I'll tuck those ends of twine up underneath. And just to make sure that the twine is secured, I'm going to also grab my sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch along that white branding strip piece. So I'll do that now. And that's going to make sure it's nice and secure. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and start embellishing. So I've got my fussy cut flower here that I'm just adding to the bottom of that left photo, just to the side and just hanging down to the bottom of those photos there. So I'm tucking the top end just underneath that edge of the photo, and the other edge there you can see is coming up over the top. Just adding some nice depth and dimension there, and I do have foam adhesive behind the flower to really add that dimension. So I'm tucking in a couple more leaves and a little yellow flower that was also fussy cut from that same floral paper. So just adding another little touch of yellow there. I've got this other leaf that I'm going to add on. Now that one has a little foam dot and some double-sided tape. So the foam is right at the end of the leaf there. And then I've got this last smaller leaf that I'm just going to tuck under the side of that yellow flower. Okay, so now that that little cluster is done, I'm going to bring over my title and also my journaling strips. And before I start sticking these down, I'm actually going to do a little bit of stamping. I've got two phrases chosen from the Mari stamp set. This one says, today is a good day. And I'm going to add that just above where my title is going to go. So just making sure that's nice and straight on my clear block. Just using some black ink there, and then I can move the title away while I stamp that down. And I'm also going to add the phrase, love this, just above that. So just swap my stamps over. Okay, so that's just going above there, and I'm going to stamp that off just to make it look a little bit messy there. While I'm stamping, I've also got the word lovely that I've just stamped onto some scrap white cardstock, and I'm going to cut that one out and add that to that white space on my cardstock tab. And that will be going to the left of that top photo, which you'll see a little bit later. I do want to add a little bit of stitching to that tab before I stick it onto the page. But first I'm going to go ahead and start adding my chipboard alphabet stickers into place. I'm going to use my T-square ruler to do that. So I'll go ahead and work my way through each of those letters, trying to get them nice and straight as I go. I'm also going to stick down my journaling strips. You'll see here I'm just adding the last couple, and then I'm going to grab my sewing machine and I'm going to stitch along each of those journaling strips just to really add some nice texture to that part of the page. So I'll go ahead and do that now. Alright, so you can see there I've got my stitching on my journaling strips, and I did stitch across that stamped word on the cardstock tab. So now I'm just going to add some foam adhesive behind the tab, and that's going to go onto that top photo there. Okay, just a couple more things to add. I've got those butterflies that I wanted to add onto the page. So I've got this green one going to the right of my journaling, adding a little foam dot behind each one of these to add some more dimension. I've got a pink one that I want to go on the left hand side, so I'm just working out where I want that one to go. So I've just got that one up near that tab, and then I've got a light blue one that's going to go just down the bottom there. Alright, so adding that one onto the page, and then all I need to do is add the date down the bottom, and I'm using the Felicity Jane roller date stamp for that. Just doing a little test first to make sure I've got the right date. And now that is done, so I can give you a closer look at the details on this page. So you can see the stitching at the top there, see that twine coming down, there's my stamping, the tab to the left, my little floral cluster, and here you can see the journaling and that little green butterfly. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I put this one together today. Please let me know if you've got any questions. Just pop it down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll leave a link to Felicity Jane down below as well, and I hope to see you again here soon, very soon, with another project. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye for now.